And we're back. So, look, this episode is coming out a week late, but not because somebody wasn't here on time. In fact, someone was here 15 minutes early.
Talk about it.
Evan, the king of Pasa-Kanda.
Setting new standards.
Got you in just under the nick of time, you might say.
The what?
The Nick, N-I-C-K, capital K on it, as a matter of fact. So, anyways, good to see you. You came here for my birthday party, which was nice. It was good to see you then, too. And I got to meet your new boo.
Yes.
Boo thing.
Yes, that is the one.
How is she?
She's great.
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about her. She's, in my opinion, the perfect person for me. And I'm just trying to be a better person for her, if I'm being honest.
Are you slow rolling this, or what are you doing? Are you jumping in with both feet? Prenup.
Look, based on what I just told you too. So with a little bit of both, right? We're both, pretty much 40, and we date with intention, right? You know why you're dating somebody at this age. It ain't like, oh, I want to test the water and see what's out there. It's like, all right, here's who I am, here's what I got, here's what I want. So with that kind of being talked about in the beginning, we know where we want to go, and it's almost like, hey, if you want to get out now, get out. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it's literally just about me making sure I'm the right partner for her, and the best version of myself for her. And so that's a process. It's been a process. This past week has been crazy when it comes to stuff like that.
Because of the Tourette syndrome?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially. That didn't help. That didn't help at all. I promise. It felt like I walked into a workplace on the Western End somewhere. So I was like, geez.
God.
Baby.
Well, I'm like, if I'm going, I don't know too much about that story. I just kind of caught like the highlights. But if I was to take it at face value, what an unfortunate tick.
Yo,
I would just lock myself in my bedroom.
It's funny.
I don't think I know this tick.
So there was the BAFTA Awards. Is that what it was?
I don't know what that stands for.
I don't either, actually. But I'm glad that I'm not the only one.
British actor, something.
Yeah.
Tourette's Awards.
So two guys were on stage. Who was it?
It was Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo.
God, Killmonger himself.
Yes.
Was on stage.
It's the British Academy Film Awards.
Okay, so this dude yells out the N-word from the crowd while they're like presenting.
Isn't funny. I'm not laughing at that. It's
And then no, of course not.
Which N-word? The
naughty
Niagara.
Right.
Oh. I thought you were going to say it. That's crazy.
We're going blue here.
So then, like, the guy comes out and he's like, man, I am so sorry. I have Tourette's syndrome. And
was it like diagnosed 5 minutes before?
Right.
So that's
like,
the thing.
You and everybody else in the South. That's going to be like the new excuse now. Sorry, I have Tourette's.
Yeah. One thing I should get out of the way before we meet each other and get serious is I have Tourette's syndrome. So it's just get it, out on front of you. Like your first day at the job, your first day at school, and then you can't really be held accountable.
Yeah, if you say it early, don't say it after the fact.
Yeah, but I think you got to say it early and often.
Early. Wear a shirt. You got to wear. Be like a tag or something. Like one of those freaking emotional support dogs. You got to wear a vest.
Yeah, but not only that, you have to say shit crazily.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
You can't.
It can't just be that word.
All the time.
Only when black people are on the microphone.
Yeah, every 90 days.
Right.
At award shows.
Super spontaneous, very specific Tourette.
I'm like,
odd.
are all of you guys playing Call of Duty?
It's an epidemic of 12-year-old kids who have Tourette's now.
And then there was that lady that stuff has just surfaced. The lady that did like the house refurbishing.
Yo, that was wild. I'm like, so she has it too? If she was smart, that's what she would say.
It's really an epidemic.
It is.
First COVID, now this.
That one was especially weird, though, to me.
Yeah.
I've never heard those two words.
Never.
Like that.
Never.
Never. It wouldn't need like fart, comma.
Never.
and just how like it wasn't weird that she said it.
It's weird that she got caught. That's where
She was shocked that she said it.
yes.
But not like I've never put those like that's
Right.
a common.
Like,
That's not the first time that she's heard that phrase.
No.
Right. She's like this is what we say at the house.
Right. I was like, what does your house look like?
It's our little joke. It's for like
My safe word in the bedroom.
it's for when a fart sneaks out.
Call that a black fart.
I wouldn't, of course.
I'm sure. It's funny in the same vein of like the Tourette's thing. Coincidentally, I follow a TikTok, I guess she is, and it's a younger black female. She has Tourette's, like
Yes.
legit, and it's.
Oh, I think I've seen her
You've
as
seen-
well.
and she's like, my name is Bobby. I like to party.
Yeah.
So I followed her probably about a month or two ago, and she teaches about the disorder. And so, of course, all this BAFTA stuff happens. She gets on and she's explaining, like, look, we don't control this, that, or the third, pop, pop, pop. She gives insight to it. And like I said, I appreciate her content because she does raise awareness. She raises awareness about the disorder. And I'm of, like, a couple things can be true at the same time, right? Like, something else about that, it's something with the name of it, that particular form of Tourette's, is that, yeah, you're right. You can't control these tics, ... However, it's about what's on your mind, too. It's like your inhibitions in that part of your brain that controls inhibitions, and your ability to control that just shuts down. So, yes, he didn't mean to say it out loud. However, that word had to be somewhere on the mind for it to come out that way. And he just, his brain betrayed him in that moment.
But I can
in his
also,
mouth.
Definitely his mouth.
I can
and his
also
handlers.
see the whole idea of like if you have Tourette's, right? Like you would be thinking about like what's the worst thing I could say, right? Like because I can't control it. So like, what's the worst word?
It'd be number one on my
and
list.
then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, did I just make that happen? Like I'm
Yeah.
thinking about being worried about it.
Please don't say it. Please don't say it. Please don't say it.
Yeah,
Please don't
like-
say it.
Was it like trying to hold in like a cough during COVID? You remember that doctor was on TV?
Eyes watering.
Oh, yeah.
What's your hat?
Baltimore.
Is it just Baltimore in general?
No, it's the Orioles. Huh?
The Orioles.
Something else on there, too.
Oh, the black, the red, and the green.
But yeah, the Orioles. I love it.
Yeah, that's one of the cooler logos that they've.
It is. I need to get another one. I have two of them, but I need to get another one because I wear them a lot, and I love this hat.
I ever tell you the story?
I didn't like the. Sorry, I didn't like the citywide jersey that they came out with. The one that was like, I don't know. There's too much going on.
I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about.
The one that was like super busy.
Yes.
But the old school Oriole.
You talking about the autism one?
Yeah, that's what it is. But the old school Oriole with the B, I thought was the cleanest. The cleanest.
I agree.
Design, so,
Have I ever told you the story about me being at the Patapsco flea market and trying on a certain Baltimore jacket?
No.
Okay. So
I don't think so.
All right. So I used to go to the Patapsco flea market pretty regularly.
You and me both. I love it.
I was heavily involved in the music scene. It was a good place to get new music and stay up to date and put your fingers on the pulse and, network and rub elbows, et cetera, et cetera. So I was up there every weekend. You could set your clock to it. And they have clothes and stuff up there. And a lot of times you can get bullshit, like especially like sweats and stuff, like really $20 for like a sweatshirt or something that's, you know what I mean? It's a good deal. So we're walking around and I see this like bomber jacket, right?
Baltimore Blast?
And it says, well, close. So it says Baltimore across the back in big orange letters, right? And I was like, damn, that shit is hard. And I was like, I'm going to try this motherfucker on. Like, so I walk into this store. It's one of those tiny little booths. It's not like the outside stand. And when I walk in, I take the jacket off the hanger and I say, can I try this on? The guy at the stand is like, yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I take it off the hanger. On the tag, it says Negro League jackets. And I realize that I'm trying on like some historic Baltimore Negro League jacket. But I just keep going with it, right? So like I put it
At
on.
that point, you don't want.
Yeah, I don't want
to
to.
save face.
Right, like,
Yeah, I know.
So
I got a friend that would love the same size as me.
So I put it on. I look in the mirror, I'm checking myself out, and I look at the dude, and I got a couple buddies with me. I look at the dude, and I'm like, "So, what do you think? I can pull it off or not?" And the guy starts laughing, and I was like, "Sorry, man, I didn't know what the fuck it was," and I take it, you know what I mean, to like put it back on a hanger or whatever.
I thought you were super into indoor soccer.
No, but I did go.
Baltimore Blast.
I have seen the Baltimore Blast live.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
I'm legit looking for a similar. I saw a similar jacket, and
Oh,
I
really?
wanted to show you. And I took a picture of it when I saw it. I was like, oh, I gotta share this with somebody. And I hope I didn't delete that shit. If I find it, I'm gonna have to show you. And it ties directly into your story.
Oh, it was great, and it was a great jacket, and I wish I wouldn't have felt so awkward about wearing it or whatever. But like
Bought
it
it
just
for me, man.
It just, but I didn't know you at the time.
Hey, fine, whatever.
Holding it for that special someone I'll meet this evening.
Yeah.
Got the perfect gift, my new friend.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else.
I swear I've got a black friend I'm going to give it to.
Yes.
So we always try. I mean, of course, Evan is welcome whenever he would like to come through. We love having you here, but we try, at least historically, for the tradition of Nerd Rage to have you on during February,
Of course.
for Black History Month.
Just made it.
Just made it, and unfortunately, this
It was
episode
a longer month that we were celebrating and we'd had more time.
It's true.
You would think.
It's
if
true.
Only.
It's a good point.
If only. This is the 100th year anniversary of Black History.
Oh, let's make some noise for that. I do want to say that it will be publishing in March, but it was recorded in February.
Irish get everything.
So at least there's that. Oh, women.
Them too, I guess.
Yeah, March is Women's Month.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
At last.
Finally.
Now they can finally get what they want.
Yeah.
They would never be happy.
Climate controlled working environments. I'm just kidding. It's mostly so. Like the other thing I wanted to say was, you'll also be happy to know that the Bobby Boogie Bop episode that we recorded for this month, publishes next month, but
Nice.
that we recorded, was Public Enemy. And Laura, I, and Jana sat down, listened to it, had discussions, provoked some conversation, et cetera, et cetera. So some things have been a little serendipitous.
I look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And there's one more serendipitous thing.
What's that?
The MCU.
Oh, yes, that's true. So what you don't realize is that Farrell has never seen the Marvel movies,
Oh,
and
no
he's
shit.
and he's just started watching them a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And
Welcome.
and he's been having a conversation with us about them every week, and what he's covered. And this week he happened to have covered Black Panther. Of which you and I have different views on, but
Yeah, I mean, it's okay for you to be wrong, but I'm glad that you covered it.
I'm used to. Trust me, if it wasn't okay for me to be wrong, I'd have a really rough life.
Right.
But before we get into that, you've been going for some time, about a year,
Oh, man.
if
Yeah,
not
wow,
more.
yeah.
If not more.
51 and a half weeks. Who's counting?
Correct. So, how has your nerd year been?
Oh, my God. It's been busy.
Last time you were here, you were just talking about going, like, splitting up.
Yes.
So what's happened since?
It was a ugly divorce, like nasty. I'm glad I have people in my life who have also gone through similar situations, so I kind of got that guidance and whatnot, and kind of knew what to look out for. You know that it's not going to get better, but at least you know what to prepare for, right?
Right.
So that was a whole pain in the ass. It got finalized on September 3rd. September 3rd. And it was finally, we got to the point where we didn't go to trial, and I wish I had. I really do.
Right.
We didn't go to trial. I settled, but I was at the point where I was just worn down. I was like, fine, whatever. I just want to be done. So September 3rd, it gets finalized and whatnot. Ironically, I was in Mexico. Ashley and I were in Mexico. In
Not recently, I hope.
No. I'm still paying attention to that situation so I can see when we go back. So we were in Mexico. It's kind of like one of those things. Her birthday is in September 9th and whatnot. And it was funny. On September 8th, we're down at the beach and whatnot, chilling. And you couldn't plan anything better. It was just one of those things that just was amazing. We go down to the beach, and I had brought my wedding ring with me, because that was going to be my release. So we're down at the beach, and it's a full friggin' moon, like big Bruce Almighty type movie. Couldn't plan. I didn't know this shit.
Right.
So I chucked the ring about 2 miles into the ocean. And it's one of those like cathartic releases.
Yeah. Where'd you get the idea to do that?
I wanted to get it as far away from me home as possible. And that was like, there was no.
It sounds like some movie shit.
It does.
Yeah.
And my idea was I just want to get this thing far away from me, and the trash can isn't far enough.
Right.
And so I did that, and we had dinner that night. And like I said, the next morning I wake up to an email about the divorce being finalized because I had known before.
Oh wow.
So on her birthday, the next morning after I did all that, get the word, and it was like that.
It's poetic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was something. And so there's that. Boom. Divorce is done. And you would think that it's all smooth sailing from there, and no. It's when people aren't happy, they aren't happy, right? And so it's been a pain in the ass since then a little bit, and it's up and down.
So how can it be a pain in the ass? Oh, with the kids.
The kids,
Yeah.
weaponizing the kids, being just difficult, not communicating, things like that. Communicating through the kids, things that I've said not to do. Going back to court in April for contempt. And so it's just a pain. But I don't want to give that too much attention because it's one of those things where that was the worst experience I've gone through as far as relationship wise. However, I'm in a relationship now with somebody who's amazing. When you talk about what's been going on with me, it's just been a lot of kind of trying to get on the right page and get things together because there was so much of not just the divorce, but me that needed to be addressed during my current relationship that I wasn't giving her everything she needed throughout that time. My attention was divided.
Sure.
And
understandably so.
Understandably, but I won't make excuses for me either because I find myself repeating behaviors that I did display in my marriage.
Oh,
and,
talk to me.
Let's
get into it.
I got to be real.
Yeah.
Like this past week, for instance, like these have been like the most insightful therapy sessions I've had.
Okay.
Really intense one yesterday.
With a proper therapist. Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This was a reoccurring theme these last couple weeks.
Right.
Derek B was just out here last week. His daughter was going through some therapy. And
okay.
Yeah.
It's when you're serious about it and when you're honest about it, it makes a big difference. And yesterday was not a rough session, but it was big. It was one of those groundbreaking sessions, and I'm still dealing with the fallout from that and realizing who I am and not just who I am outside of my relationships, but who I'm as a person. And, realizing that I haven't always, I can sit there and bash my ex all day long, but a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's what they
so
say.
Everything she says about me isn't, untrue.
Correct.
And so I have to be accountable for that and realize that, a lot of my behaviors did lead to, the dissolution of my marriage in one way or another. Or I have behaviors that are unhealthy and they stem from stuff, ironically, in my childhood, like everything does. Right?
Yeah.
And just diving back into that with...
What? Give me a behavior.
I have inappropriate relationships with women a lot. And it doesn't have to be sexual. It's like one of those things where... Why is this
the borders aren't firm enough?
Yeah, there's not enough boundaries and things of that nature. And so, or wanting to hold on to relationships unnecessarily. If this relationship it's not necessary to me in my life, but I like keeping people in my life because I have underlying fear of rejection and also abandonment. So it's like you want to keep people in your life because
I get that.
they're there. And in turn, what I'm not doing is I'm not giving the person who's most important to me, who should be most important to me, the attention they deserve. And so that causes underlying resentment and issues. And me trying to justify my behavior and make excuses for it. And I'm good at talking, so I can talk my way out of it. That's not helpful. So, and it's almost like gaslighting my partner into thinking they're crazy when they're not.
Right.
But me not being accountable and being defensive about my behaviors and what I'm saying and doing, it just causes more friction.
Yeah.
And they are literally trying to communicate with me the best way possible. And I'm sitting there like, no, you're just overreacting. Or you're being emotional. Well, I'm not doing that. Or here's why I'm doing that. Or I'm going to blame it on this other person or this situation. No, it's me. So this past week, just kind of coming to terms with all that was big. And I was talking to my therapist yesterday, and she said, "Don't beat yourself up over it." 'Cause I'm sitting there like, I'm disappointed that I wasted somebody's time.
Right.
I'm not talking about my ex. I'm talking about current girlfriend.
Yeah. That year or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, look at it as not wasted time, but time for growth. Like, you wouldn't be where you are now if you hadn't been the asshole you were. It's in so many words. Like, so it's growth. It's not necessarily a waste of time, but you now have a starting point to be better, be the best version of you, which is what she deserves. But we're still in that process of kind of dealing with those emotions that go with that and the fallout, because we do want to be together. So the easy answer would be, oh, we'll just break up. I fucked you over, or I made you feel this way. Move on and find somebody new. That's not what we want. That's not what I want. And that's not what she wants. So we have to learn to work through it and deal with all those raw emotions and the feelings of whether it be disappointment or betrayal or hurt, or what have you, that I caused. So that's where we're at now. We are in couples therapy, which was a great decision. And it's helped. I like, talking to the couples therapist last week, then talking to my individual therapist yesterday, and just kind of getting things, in line and really getting these breakthroughs. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's cool.
It's cool. It sucks when you feel like you wasted time.
Yeah,
trying to get over that.
I can relate a bit because, like, I even said in the song "Truth" that I did, I said something, I can't remember the exact line, but something along the lines of, like, I think even with like stuff like this and like the community that I've built around this and all that, and even in the job and everything else, like and my friends growing up, was a pretty tight knit group. That I was in some way looking for this family that I never had, right? That I always wanted. And then somehow I ended up making my own family and looking right over it and keep trying to build this other family that I always wanted, and I not completely ignored. It's not like I was an absentee father or anything like that, but I didn't take full advantage, or at least, appreciate for myself, if for no one else, that I had this thing right in front of me that maybe I was why I look for anything else, or I'd already built the thing I was missing.
Right.
I made, quite literally made the thing I was missing,
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not.
Because the thing you built, you're not the person that is still seeking the thing that you were seeking. Right. So you're the father and the husband and the family that you built.
Right.
And you're seeking the child situation where you have friends and things to enjoy together. And, so you're looking to be a kid in that other thing. So in a way you're looking for two different families.
Yeah. That's fair.
And it's funny how much of our adult situations are rooted in our childhood. And we don't realize it until it takes 35, 40 years for us to realize, oh shit. I'll give you an example. The therapist last week asked, what was your childhood like? I was like, it was pretty normal, da-da-da-da. She's like, what the fuck is normal? And this lady, she doesn't bullshit. She's like very, she called me on everything. So she's like, what is normal? I was like, well, my mother was this. And I started getting into the weeds of it in the sense of, I've got two brothers who have a different father. My sister and I have the same father. My one brother has the same last name as me because my father took care of all of us. Their father was out of the picture. My father was in and out having another family. And it was like, she was like, that ain't normal. And
that's fair.
And then finding out that, there were secrets.
And secrets are no fun
unless
secrets hurt someone.
Exactly. And so between my mother and my father, all these secrets that I found out years later, I didn't find out that Justin had a different father until I think I was 14 or 15. And then stuff like that. And she said, your childhood family dynamic and the perception of it is built on secrets. And so if that's what you see, and you see that your father's out here having affairs, you see that he has a side chick out here and another kid over there, you think that's normal. And so that's what you're going to try to replicate, right? And so for me to say I had a normal childhood, just because I wasn't getting put through a wall or slammed in between a washer and dryer, or had a loved one in the bathroom shooting drugs,
right?
That doesn't mean I had a normal childhood.
Yeah, no,
it just means I had a different kind of trauma, and that's what I had to come to understand. And so that was something big for me, and just even discovering that.
Yeah, I think there are some people maybe that have close to somewhat of a normal childhood, but I think most of us don't. Most people don't. Like, I think we define normalcy by like television and representation, right. But like you take my kids, right? Like my kids, grew up both parents in the house, loving family, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But guys coming in and out of the house all the time, fucking weekend parties with all sorts of people, fucking, you know, big bash cookouts, fucking concerts and getting, you know, all this like that's not normal. You know, it's their normal.
Right.
You know, and I think for me, like,
So I think you should get away from calling it normal. It should be a sliding scale of healthy and unhealthy.
Yes. I like that. Yes.
Right, because normal is dependent
It's so
on
subjective.
your culture, your state that you're in, your socioeconomic
standard.
Like normal is ridiculous, but there's healthy and unhealthy.
Right.
Right. So, you know, you can call it unhealthy that tons of people come here and everything like that, but it's also kind of healthy in the sense that they're going to meet a ton of people that are different from them.
Social interaction and whatnot.
Right. And then learn that it's not just the 3-point, you know, 5-bedroom house
Right.
in suburbia. And
Right.
we got 2 cars and,
Right.
you know, the one dog.
Neurotic dog.
Yeah, the half a dog, the half-point dog. But yeah, so that, like you can, but on every single one of that, you can see that there's slightly unhealthy and it's slightly healthy. It's however, it's your job as a parent to help shine the light on the healthy things, and then also explain the unhealthy parts and why to give them the tools they need to survive in this world.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just had a, actually, it's I might explore it a little bit more on Wine and Cheese or something, but like, you know, Jaina has said recently, like to me, something about like men scare her. Right. And I was like, why? And she was like, well, like, you know, mentioned like the big obvious standout points. Right. And I'm like, but like, think about the amount of men that I have introduced you to, or that you have come in contact with, that have been nothing but kind to you, nothing but nice to you, nothing but would bend over backwards for you, like, et cetera, et cetera. And she was like, yes. And she was like, but I also hear, you know, so-and-so cheated on their wife. So-and-so cheated on their wife. So-and-so's having an affair here. So-and-so's getting a divorce. They're losing the kids, you know, shit like that. And that's something that I don't really think about, because in my head, I'm just not hiding anything. I'm just being, you know, I'm not like going out of my way to be like, I'm going to expose you to this.
Right,
I'm just like, this is going on in my life. I'm just talking about, you happen to be here.
Yeah, overexposure is bad, but also
Right.
not explaining context to the exposure can be bad too.
Right.
Right.
So anyway, it's been like something I'm going to take note of moving forward, because I just I picked it up in my peripheral and I was like, I got to be careful and mindful about the picture that paints.
I got you. I understand
You know?
that.
But Jaina also has a sheltered. She's exposed to a lot of people, but she's also sheltered. Right. So, that's an interesting dynamic that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And it's like, I would imagine that like, if you were like, take this neighborhood in a petri dish, she's been exposed to far more than any other kid in this neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Well, that's hard too. From the outside, it looks like they're probably not exposed to a lot, but you have no idea when the door is closed what kind of chaos can be.
Yes. I think I'm speaking specifically
To outside the family.
kind of, sort of. I'm speaking specifically about diversity of interactions.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, she's been in a doing stuff that's like trying to learn about the mopping stuff that dad does. And she's also walked through Chicago's South Side with me to catch the train to such and such, and walked, you know,
Went backstage and saw the clips.
went backstage and saw the clips, you know, like it's,
No, I get it, but then it's like that's one form of exposure, but the other form that a lot of kids go through is that you went through, right? Verbal and emotional and physical abuse.
Yeah.
That from when the doors look outside looking in, oh, it looks nice. They got a car in the garage, and the grass looks cut, and you know there's not a lot of garbage, and it looks like a nice suburban house. And on the inside, it's fucking hell.
That it was. I don't know how normal it looked, you know, but because it was a fucking disaster over there. But
I can tell you from mine.
Yeah, right.
You know, like 2 cars in the garage, $600,000, house, and in the county, and fucking chaos.
Yeah, yeah. I think healthy versus unhealthy is a lot better than normal versus abnormal.
I like how you put that. That's a really good one, and I'm actually going to put that in the toolbox because, normal is it's almost like a dirty word. It's so subjective because what is normal? Normal is formed by our own experiences and perception. So, yeah.
How are the kids doing?
The kids are doing better. I'm still looking for a counselor for them. And it's tough because there's a lot of people.
You're going to run out of time just taking everybody all these goddamn therapy appointments.
I'm telling you, man, I need to just put something like in my house or something. I got that shit out back. That's going to be like a therapy center.
Are you still at the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll explain that in a second.
All right.
So a lot of people aren't accepting new patients, not, let alone twins.
Right.
So that's a difficult aspect. And then you got insurance and whatnot. So it's hard. I do regular check-ins on mine. I have to learn that I can't control what they're exposed to at their mom's house, right? I know that she talks a lot of shit.
Right.
And the funny thing is when you go through the kid's phone and you see that, oh, my mom said this, my mom said that, and that, in this case, my daughter talking to her friend about what their mom said about me, or the mother texting my son and daughter shit talking about me, my girlfriend. That's not healthy, right? I can't control that. And for a long time, the way I combated that was I'll just ignore it. I'll just be the bigger person. I won't talk shit about their mom around them. I'm just going to, I'm going to surround them with love. And
how old are they?
They're 12.
12. Okay.
And so that's what I wanted to do. I was like, I can't control that, but what I can control in my house is just be the best dad possible. Boom. That doesn't work. And this is something Ashley told me. She's like, I know what you're trying to do. She's like, but at the end of the day, you still have to give them the respect of, being transparent with them a little bit, just a little bit. They don't have to know all the dirty nuts and bolts of your relationship, but just know that you're being talked about this way over there. And that's the opinion. That's the perception they're going to accept because, that's all they get.
It's one of the two most trusted people in their lives.
Yes.
Right.
And if I'm only getting that part of the story from this person who I love and trust, then it must be right because he's not saying anything against it.
Right.
So I literally had to sit at the time my daughter down because that's whose phone I had to look at and saw these conversations. And I was like, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, here's the situation. I know me and my divorce, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of told her everything that happened. And I was like, look, don't take my word for it. Here's all the proof, not in a dirty way, but like, hey, I kept a calendar. I keep calendars, physical calendars, and I have been for years. I said, here's my calendar from the year we got divorced, with 2024, right? And, some certain stuff didn't line up, and she saw that her mom lied about some stuff and manipulated. And I said, I'm not saying your mom's a bad person because here's what I did. I had to be accountable. I wasn't a good husband. I cheated. I did, whatever. But I'm also not going to sit here and
Accept 100% blame.
Yes, I can't do that. It takes two.
It's not fair.
Even something as simple as the mother lying and saying that.
And you know who it's not really fair to?
Anybody.
The kids.
The kids.
Right. Who cares about you in your ex-wife's eyes?
Right.
That doesn't matter.
It's about the kids.
It's about the kids.
And we noticed, I say we because Ashley and I both noticed a change in behavior with them. And that was directly from what my ex-wife was saying. And so it was something as simple as basically she texts Zach saying that they feel guilty for breaking up the marriage. Talk about me and Ashley. I said, that is impossible. I was like, she's convinced that Ashley and I have known each other for 17 years. I didn't meet this woman until July 2024, and we didn't start talking until September 27th, 2024. Didn't start dating until October 18th, 2024. I have a calendar for a reason. And so I gave this stuff to my daughter, like, look, here's the facts. And she saw, because I had bring proof. I said, this is your mother with her current boyfriend in June of 2024, before she had even asked for separation. So tell me how I was the one out there. Now, I'm not innocent in any way, but in this bubble, in this situation, this is what this is. And because she never told the kids when she met her boyfriend. And it was more like your dad, as opposed to, well, yeah, I met him on a business trip to New Orleans or Atlanta. And so my daughter was like, like you can see like the wheels turning, and it sucks to have to do that. But I think you have to be fair to them. You have to give them the whole truth. And I always reinforce, that's your mother. love her, respect her. That is the only one you got. That is your mother. I don't care what we got going on, but that is your mother.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily villainize somebody to not make yourself the sacrificial lamb.
You're the only father they're going to have.
Absolutely. And that's that's what I have to treat.
You have to walk that minefield.
Yep.
And I'm speaking from experience on the kid side, right? You have to walk that minefield of not villainizing the other person, because then you get into a weird thing where kids try to take sides.
Yep.
Right? And that ruins the relationship there. So you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself so that you can maintain being a good father to your children without sinking her
Yeah.
in their eyes too, because then what you're not helping.
It's not helping them, and that's the role I'm playing, and I've had to play that. Like I still to this day around, I will not talk trash. I won't talk down on her. I won't talk bad about her. I don't care if I don't agree with what she's doing. That's something I'm going to address with her personally. If they got a message passed through them, well, mom said, I was like, okay, well, I'll just reach out to her and figure that out, you know. But yeah, I make it a point. I'm not going to talk bad about her in front of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my mom used to call my dad everything under the sun. Like, that son of a bitch. You know, like it was always like, that son of a bitch. Yeah. You know, which was kind of a twofer. My grandma's involved in that at that point, you know. And
what's the beef with her?
Yeah, guilty by association, I suppose. But like, my father clearly hated her. It was obvious. But he never said one bad thing about her. Yep. Never spoke highly of her. Never like defended her. Never went out. Never just like. But it was always like, I'm gonna have to talk to your mother. I'm gonna have to contact your mother. It was always your mother. It was never that bitch. It was never that. You know. It was always like.
But you remember that all
100%. I acknowledged it then. I knew as a young kid, I was like, the energy between these two is the same in terms of how they feel about each other, but not the same in how they present it to me.
Correct. That makes a big difference. And I literally just saw her today because there was a thing at the kids' school this morning. And so she showed up. We didn't look at each other. We didn't speak. We didn't even sit near each other. She walked right past me. We didn't, no eye contact, nothing. And I'm fine with that. I'm happy about that because, you know, I've dealt with enough nonsense with this woman over the last year and some change. That's probably the best case scenario. I gave her time with the kids to take the pictures and stuff. Then they came out and I dealt with them. So that's what it has to be. But all the tit for tat bullshit, I'm not down for it.
Yeah, my mother used to, when I was real young, like in T-ball, would tell me like, "Hey, your dad's coming to the big game on Saturday. He said he's coming. I'll be here at noon. You know, then Friday. Are you ready for tomorrow? He's coming tomorrow. He'll be here at noon."
It's almost building anxiety in you,
right? And so, but it was exciting because he lived in like Pennsylvania, and I saw him, you know, 2 weeks out of the year, and then like every fifth or sixth weekend or something like that. So it'd be like for him to come to Maryland to watch me play in a T-ball game was
big deal.
That's awesome.
Wake up early.
Butterflies in the stomach.
12. He's not here. Maybe he's running late. 1 o'clock. He just called. He said he'd rather go to a concert with his friends.
Oh my God.
So then years later, you know, because now like the relationship got destroyed there with my dad. Years later, we're trying to build it back up. And I'm asking him like, hey, like there's all these times where like you just didn't show up. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like I would call your mother
never invited.
every week and ask, is he doing anything this weekend? Can I come get him? Anything like that? And she'd be like, no, he's got a big T-ball game, but it's not local. And he'd be like, oh, okay.
And that's crazy. I can't imagine.
So
that sucks.
Catch me up on the house.
The house. Oh, so part of the settlement is that, of course, I stay in the house. I have exclusive use and possession because she moved out. So it worked out perfect. I didn't have to really fight for it. She moved out. I have exclusive use and possession. I have until April 2027 to decide whether or not I'm going to buy her out or sell the house and split the profits. Of course, buying her out is, you know, she gets half minus half of what she got from my deferred comp.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's say she got $20,000 from my deferred comp. It'd be half minus $10,000.
Right.
And I have until next April to decide on that. I have use of possession until June 30th, 2027. I mean, that's not for like her hitting me up randomly. Hey, you selling the house yet? What are you doing? You buying me out? I'm like, I don't need you to rush me. First of all, like it's
right.
It's
there's a deadline already in place.
It is. It's on black and white.
Of course it is with you.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's actually black on black. You got to use infrared to see it.
It's for the black, the red, and the green, sissy.
So my plan is to keep the house. I love the house. It's in a great spot, great neighborhood. I have a great interest rate right now. I think it's like a 3.25 or something. And it sucks because you're making a conscious decision to give this person who's already taken a lot from you even more. Like I'm making a conscious decision to give this woman maybe $100,000, and I've got to pay for that. I've got to foot the bill. Ashley and I talked about, what it would mean for us to buy a house together. It just wouldn't make sense, right? Because if you've been in my house, you know that the way she described, she's like, I never felt that woman's presence in here at all. I did all.
Because you did a ton of work.
I did all the work and the decor and everything. So it reflected me more than anything. She said it'd be different if there was pictures of her and you can tell that this was a feminine touch and that. She's like, I've never felt her presence in here, and it works for us as a combining family. And so that's the main thing for me. If it works for her and the kids, then it works. I'll make it do what it do. Right. Yeah. So, and like we have plans for the house. I'm not going to enact them until I buy her out because I'm not going to increase the value of it.
Right.
But, that was another thing, like with the kids, right? I was planning on doing something with my kitchen island, like taking them, whatever. And I got the kids and they're texting their mom, like, Dad's doing this, Dad's doing that. I was like, you don't need to tell her and report back to her about everything I'm doing. Because now I get it on her. And like, she's like, you can't do anything with the house. I was like, I'm not even doing nothing. She's like, but she's getting information. Right. She asked the kids, what's your father doing? And I was like, don't do that. I was like, as long as you're safe, you don't have to tell her nothing about what goes on in his house. Cause I damn sure don't ask about what goes on in hers. And that was a
point of contention.
It was. And it that's when you really got to sit the kids down and like talk to them like, hey, don't turn into the ops in my own house.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
And that was a real talk I had to have with both of them. But that's the house situation. So
what's the custody share like?
50-50.
Okay.
But I still pay child support. I know, right? Every time I tell people that, they're like, wait, if it's 50-50, why are you paying? I'm like, look, it's just.
And then they got the nerve to say it's a man's world.
Man, so we settled. We came to terms and stuff. But, and this is why I don't necessarily like lawyers, because you can tell when they're not all for you and they more just want to kind of get it out the way. Give me money so I can get it off the table. We're not a high profile divorce, so they're not standing to make a ton of money on it. So yes, they're fighting for me, but it's not like they were doing the best. It's almost like, hey, just agree with this because X, Y, Z Hill, or just give her this because whatever. And I wish I had fought harder and advocated for myself more. And like I said, I wish fucking take me to trial, because if we're going to trial, I know that the rulings will be different than what the settlement were. Now, all cards on the table. I made out pretty good when it comes to the child support thing. For 2 kids, $650 a month. That ain't bad. Not each.
And how old
That's
are
total. So
how old are they?
12. They'll be 13.
So I mean, and the clock's ticking.
It is. I've already done the math.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that for me, we all know people who are paying out their ass for kids, right? Yeah. So I said that's fine. And of course, they're on my insurance, all that stuff. So I have to take the good with the bad. I'm not going to sit here and say I got a raw deal because I know people got it worse. One thing I don't like is, the house is, it is what it is, marital property, whatever. But I wish I'd fought harder about that. And then you got the whole retirement, which she's entitled to.
Yeah, it was like the mouth of Sauron when like the venom was coming out over the lips. And like,
can you try to practice that? And I still don't have it down. Because it's hard to say when somebody's entitled to something that you worked for. Like, motherfucker wasn't sitting in the fucking testing center with me. She wouldn't. What they say? She wasn't shooting shots in the field with me. So it's hard to say when somebody's entitled to something because. What am I entitled to as the man? Like, what the hell am I entitled? If that's the case, what am I entitled to? And so, she gets that portion of my retirement. But she also, because of what she's entitled to, she gets the drop. If I decide to go on the drop, she gets half of that. she, you know, the balance of my deferred comp at the time. She gets that.
She gets half your drop.
Yes.
Even though you'd enter the drop.
Yes.
After the divorce is settled.
Yes, that was explained
It's
to me.
all money that is earned post divorce. That's crazy.
It's wild, which is why when I said I'm going to do 2 in the drop, I'm not going to do 2 in the official drop. I'm going to open up my own account and put money into it. That is that. And it's like an alternative drop that I'm establishing for myself, but it's still a pain in the ass.
But it's self-funded.
Right? It is self-funded.
Which is like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's weird, right?
Crazy.
But here's the thing, because I used the drop as a bargaining chip during negotiations because I knew I could fund my own. But the thing is, if I can get her to waive that at some point in the future, because if I don't officially enter the drop, I can stay as long as I want, and that delays her, you know, what she gets out of my retirement, and also lessens how much she gets out of my retirement. If I enroll in a drop and you waive it, then you have a clock. You know exactly when you're getting your money.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense. It benefits her more to waive the drop than sit here and just, you know, wait.
I think my dad. So my dad got majority custody, so he didn't have to pay child support, and my mom was supposed to pay half on all bills, like dentist, doctor, whatever the case. She didn't, never did, but she was supposed to. And then she emptied the bank accounts when she left, so she got that little bit up front, and he wasn't entitled to any of that back, you know. But
it sucks. Yeah, people will do some shady shit. I literally had to file a police report against her in October because she stole money from me. And that got dismissed because I guess it wasn't a large amount. It was like $260 some. She used my account number. This was after the divorce, obviously. So when she did it in April, I couldn't hold her accountable because she was still my wife. She did it in October, and I was able to kind of hold her accountable. I got my account number, called and said, "Hey, I'd like to pay on this bill." She got her boyfriend at the time to pretend to be me, and that's how that happened.
wow,
My bank calls me, and you know, all this stuff. And the funny thing is, I didn't press charge. I went to the police and said, "Hey, here's this information. I don't know what you gotta do with it." He was all right, we'll look at it. We'll see if we can do anything with it. The commissioner decided to press charge. So there was enough evidence that she committed this crime
wow,
to pursue charges. It got dropped or dismissed because of whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things you got to deal with.
What's up with the tattoos on your ring fingers?
So I've had this already. I got the top part of it. I got last year. This was, a marriage thing. I'd still have to. I'm making a laser removal.
What's the top part?
Which one?
Like that you got last year. What is this?
It's just a sword. So I meant to get the
Oh,
whole
okay.
thing,
All right. Got you.
but I was being a bitch and didn't want to get the bottom part. So I got to go back and get the bottom part done. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Man, that knuckle really hurts, right?
Look, the funny thing is, it doesn't hurt up here, but it hurts. Like I imagine, my bitch ass mind. I'm imagining this hurts a little bit more. So I have to go back and get that part done. And then Ashley and I got match tattoos, I think in December 1986.
Okay.
She got hers right here. I got mine right there. Yeah. So I still got to go get this one touched up, and I got to get this. I'm going to get it done at the same time. And I still, like I said, laser remove for the band part.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for catching us up.
Absolutely. It's been a lot. That was a real condensed version, but
Yeah. No, I'm sure. Farrell, how was your nerd week?
Well, watch some things. So first off, I finished watching Fallout Season 2.
How was that?
So it's another thing that falls into that whole category.
Falls out into?
Well, it falls out and then fell into that category of things. With like I had a hard time getting into Season 2. Really like Season 1. But it's so long between seasons, and there's so many other things happening that when I start watching Season 1, even after watching like the 5-minute remember this from Season 1, that like emotional attachment to the characters wasn't there. So they're trying to expand on this universe, and I'm trying to figure out why I give a fuck.
Right.
Right. The middle of it was interesting, was really interesting with like the factions, like a civil war in the faction and everything like that. The different groups rebelling against the state. And they just kind of like semi-resolved it. And then we're like, hey, back over to this other storyline. And I'm kind of like it's cool. Like, it looks interesting.
Right.
I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that was kind of disappointing because I thought the first season was really good.
First season was great. I have a similar issue. I couldn't get into season 2. Still haven't made it past maybe 2 or 3 episodes because I can't understand why I don't give a fuck. Because I cared in season 1, but that time in between, and I don't know, because we deal with it with other shows. Like, I'll tell you, Invincible. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
Invincible, they go like 2 years in between seasons, but I'm still as invested when it comes back as like. I don't know what it is about.
But that's how I feel about Red Dragon or whatever that shit is. Fucking the Game of Thrones shit, like the House of Dragons. Like, it's like
I never cared about House of Dragons.
So it's like years between seasons. But like when that second season came on, I was just as vested as if it had just ended.
I'm looking forward to this third one.
Me too.
So I'm trying to watch this new.
Dude, you and me both. I am struggling. People are like singing its praises.
Knights of the Seven Kingdoms?
Yes,
I
I'm
haven't
sorry.
checked it out.
I'm struggling.
I watched like 8 minutes last night, and I was like,
I'm 2 episodes in, and like I just like I'm begging to make me care.
Right.
Make me care about this shit.
It's getting rave reviews. And
I know.
I haven't checked it out at all. So that's interesting.
Well, I heard episode 5
is the highest.
It's the highest rated television episode of all time.
That's a long way in.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's that anime abuse.
Yeah. Can't do that.
So, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's this adult onset ADHD that I've self-diagnosed myself with, or like it could be the opposite of ADHD, where I just don't give a fuck about so much shit anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like an apathy disorder.
Yeah. So like, but it's weird because, here I am, there's 36 MCU movies. And I'm like,
2 of which are Black Panther.
That's true. Just like February's number 2 of the year. Dude, do the science.
so I'm like 19 movies in. And I have not liked the majority of them.
Okay. Damn. I was not expecting that.
Well, so like, when I say like I don't like it, like I'm not saying they're bad.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, oh my God, that was amazing.
So where'd you start? I'm just curious. Did you start with Iron Man or Incredible Hulk?
Iron Man.
Okay.
So I'm watching the movie timeline.
Okay.
Right. So the chronological order.
I like that.
So like a lot of them were fine. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so glad I spent 2 hours doing it. Now, from the whole, like the idea of watching the whole MCU timeline, like I'm still in.
Right.
I still want to see where this goes. So it's just really like 36 super long episodes.
I like that. I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
But, I just don't give a fuck about so much shit anymore that like I'm just used to just not caring, which is so weird.
Thor, right?
I mean,
Not all the
not great movies, man.
No.
Those Thor movies. I like that. My hot take is that I think the second one is the best of the 4.
That is a hot take.
I know.
Because you were in a vast minority.
I know. But I think that the second one is the best one, and I think the 4th one is the worst one.
That's Love and Thunder, right?
Yeah, but to me it goes 2, 1, 3, 4.
So I thought 2 was critically important to the storyline because it explains so much more of
Loki and him and the parents. Yeah.
So yeah, all right. So I guess we'll just jump right in.
Jump right in.
So last episode, I had just watched Civil War, which was by far my favorite so far.
It's a good one.
And then I went into Black Widow.
Okay. What about after that?
Pretty much.
So, Black Widow was garbage.
Nice to see her in the white suit.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. But you know what? I got plenty of TNA apps.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I
don't
hear
need
you.
them in my MCU.
I hear you, but that wasn't hard to look at.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it would make that big of a difference, but it was impressive.
Sure. It was.
Yeah.
So it could have been a 5-minute episode.
Yeah, fair. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I just want a director's cut that's just her moving around.
What do they call it? The Marvel one shots? Just do that.
Yeah.
So then Black Panther.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I thought
Hey, put a timestamp on it.
Yeah.
so I thought that Bozeman was great.
Yes, he's phenomenal. He plays the fuck out of that character.
I think he was perfect for that role.
I agree. Rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I sent you that reel where he was getting an award and he was talking about Denzel, which I thought was pretty cool. Did you see that?
Yes.
Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they were trying to do with what he looked like in the first half of the movie, but I didn't like it.
What did he remember? I haven't seen it in
So he
forever.
had that weird, like
The hair.
the hair that was kind of like up.
Oh
and
yeah,
over
up
his
and
head.
over. That's right.
And, like, everything was like, I don't know what it was,
But the funny thing about that is, if you pay attention to, what was that, 2018? After that, almost exclusively, that was the hairstyle of every black character in comics and video games. It was
They just adapted it.
They just, like, for some reason, that was like the go-to young black hairstyle.
How
It was-
unique.
It was like that.
Look how hip.
Yeah, exactly. And it became weird. I've read a whole article on that. Like,
No shit.
yeah, it became a whole thing. Like,
look at me watching it, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing.
Right in touch.
check you out.
Yep.
Oh shit. But yeah, I didn't like.
I'm not great with I'm not great with actors and actresses' names, but the mother is it
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. That was going to be my guess. I should have gone for it. Mm-hmm. I think she was phenomenal in that movie too.
Yeah.
She was better in the second one, in my opinion.
So my hot take is the second one's better than the first.
I agree with you.
Oh wow.
No, I agree. In the sense, look, after you were talking about it, I was going to say, I completely say that the second one was better than the first, and the first I still love. It has a special place in my heart.
I know it
because of the
does.
cultural significance, right? But I feel like it did fall apart in certain places, especially that third act.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be objective and say that I still enjoyed the movie. I
Mm-hmm.
still go back and watch it. But that third act, especially the CGI involved in that third fight, it
Yeah, when they're like
Fucks
in
it-
that
yeah.
sliding board or
it
whatever.
fucks it up with me.
Oh,
but the second one was
the
great.
train with a dampener.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I say this all the time, but like, take the cultural element out of it, right?
Can't, but okay.
Okay, let's try. Let's pretend it's fucking light beige panther, like
DJ Envy Panther.
spotted leopard. That like it's just the Marvel formula again.
Mm-hmm.
You introduce the character, you give the motivation, you introduce the villain. The villain is the inverse
mirror of the-
you know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
it's like here we go again. And I'm okay with walking away from that saying there was another fine Marvel movie that will move us towards the end goal, or in this case the end game, if you will. But when because of the cultural element, when it started becoming this like best of thing of all time, then I'm like, all right, guys, come on.
Yeah, should have got the Oscar. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it should have.
But so, and I'm not going to take away from the point. You said something that made me think.
Talk to me.
When it comes to like Marvel movies, and I think superhero movies as a whole, but Marvel movies in particular, how many of them have go against that dynamic of I'm just going to fight the opposite of myself, the reverse Flash of myself?
Very few.
That's
If
what
any.
I'm trying to
If
figure
any.
that out.
If
So,
any, like
yeah.
like let me see here. So Captain America does it with Winter Soldier, right? You can make the argument that Thor does it with Loki.
Doctor Strange does it with
it. Yeah, but that's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. It's similar. I agree, but it's a little bit different. Guardians is different.
okay.
Guardians is different. Iron Man was the same.
Yep.
Hulk was the same.
Yep.
What do we got up there? Black Panther was the same.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. No, that was Vulture. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. But you're surprised he didn't fight Venom. You know, like-
We were waiting for it. We were waiting for it.
and then who else is Ant-Man was the same. He
Yep.
fought Yellow Jacket. That's the same. And I think that's my issue with that stuff overall. The Marvel movies specifically is that they just end up largely introducing a character that is the kind of both like physical, like, and not to say like opposite, but inverse, and theological, but same powers.
I'm going to use your powers for evil.
Right,
Like,
right.
That's basically what it is.
Right.
So like Batman and Joker are inverse, but they are manifested in different ways.
Yes, yeah, that one is way more complicated. So
But I'm trying to boil it down.
yeah,
to the,
because I think the if Batman existed in the MCU, his villain would undoubtedly be Ra's al Ghul. because that's the true inverse of Batman.
Right.
Okay.
You know, like Joker is this whole other force, you know, that just because the thing about Joker and Batman,
it is chaos and order.
sure, and they share similarities because they're both the product of one bad day.
Right.
You know, but in terms of like theological approach to what they're doing, like Ra's al Ghul, I think, really considers Batman to be the logical heir to the throne of what he's doing. He doesn't get why Batman doesn't see it.
Right.
Like, what's the difference?
And then the way that Joker uses other people's greed and everything like that to do his bidding, where, you know, and in reality, Bruce uses his own greed to try to do good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? His own amassed fortune.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is like the one thing that Batman has in common with all of his villains, except for Penguin, is they're all fucking insane.
I was about to say mental illness.
They're all insane.
That's it.
Batman's insane. Joker's insane. Bane's insane. Fucking Scarecrow's insane. Two-Face is insane. Poison Ivy's
Mr.
insane.
Freeze?
Mr. Freeze is
He's just
insane.
cold.
Cold-hearted
He's
and
grieving.
Cold-hearted and insane. He is grieving also. But they're all fucking loons. You know, and then that raises the question, like, which is what's fucking cool about Batman, but like that raises the question of like, is this the Kevlar versus the armor-piercing rounds? Like, did Batman create this mess? You know? But yeah, I think Black Panther is fine as a movie. I think Wakanda Forever is better. I think had Chadwick been allowed, you know, by the grace of God to live longer, Wakanda Forever would have been one of the most amazing Marvel movies that we had seen. But because, you know, we, and ultimately more so his friends and family, got shortchanged on his time with us, like, we didn't get a movie that could have been as great as it was. You're not there yet, but you'll see. There's more to it.
So, I mean, like, the culture stuff is an interesting topic for me as well.
Okay. Evan and I have been down this road before, but
I'm
we're always it's like a well-worn path at this point.
You know, and I think that we previewed the conversation the other day. And I'm not sure that I have like fully fledged out thoughts to bring to the table to have the discussion with you about it.
I'm not the foremost expert, so
No, but you know, but you've had time to think about it.
Right.
I've had 48
Days,
hours.
I got you.
You know, but yeah, it's. I don't know which country Wakanda is supposed to represent, which is an interesting thing to me, right? So there's the U.S. In the movie.
Yep.
There's the U.K. in the movie. What's Wakanda?
I see what you're saying.
Well, it's the same with what was the place that got destroyed in Age of Ultron? It's like a
Sokovia.
Sokovia. Like, what's Sokovia?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
Sokovia was
Eastern Europe. It's you know,
Eastern
vibes.
Europe, but in all reality, in the last 50 years, it's been like 5 different countries,
Yeah.
right? And I guess you can say the same thing about a couple of places in Africa, right? Or is it just trying to represent all of Africa at the same time? Or at least the central bit, because North Africa is very different than South, and West is different than East.
Yeah, I take it as a amalgamation of like Kenya, Ghana, Namibia, and those Afro-futuristic countries that are way more developed than maybe people think they are. And we're not going to say this is, for instance, Kenya. We're not going to say this is Ghana. We're not going to, but that's, for me, that's what it represents. I can only speak for Evan, so.
And that's fair. I mean, because if I were to choose which section of Africa that I would think that Wakanda is supposed to be in, it would be in Central West.
That would have been my guess.
Right. Definitely not North.
No.
Yeah, where they show it on the map. I think they showed it on the map, and it kind of, I don't think it was Central West. That's the funny thing about it. I think it was maybe I'm
gonna pull it up. So
west of Madagascar. Like, right. I'm not sure. I'm
on the east coast of South. That's
close.
That'd be crazy.
Like, not necessarily South. And I might be wrong. My memory's terrible, but I don't think I remember it being Central West. And like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but.
I need this to zoom out a bit. Yeah, I think they have it. I think they have it almost northeast.
So like northeast being
not like Egypt northeast, but
well, like I'm looking at like
Sudan?
Map of the week, the changing geography of. So I don't know if this is accurate.
I feel like he's trying to quiz me on my African geography.
No, I'm certainly not.
I'm actually pretty decent at it.
I'm not.
I can tell you when you said Sudan, I was like, okay.
Well, I would have said North Sudan, but that doesn't exist anymore. I spent a year in Africa.
No kidding.
Yeah, in Egypt.
So you spent more time in Africa than I have.
I thought
Imagine
Egypt
that.
was fine place.
Imagine that. Was it South Africa?
So tell me more, Elon.
So they have it. They have it pretty much central. I guess relatively
Like Congo Central?
like north of Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Just north of Nigeria, just south of Burundi. That's what they have here.
There's a lot of countries in Africa.
And south of
I know where Ghana is. I know where Liberia is. I know where.
Right. I'm trying to piece it together.
listen closely. just south of Niger.
Yeah. Okay.
Put a timestamp.
Actually, you should beat yourself out. That would be fucking funny.
Look, I'm just waiting for an
sorry, I had
opportunity.
Tourette's.
Look, I need to wait for an opportunity for us to introduce Nicaragua into this podcast, and it's like a trifecta.
And then it's on the trifecta.
Yes.
But I'll bring this up because I know we repeat ourselves from time to time on here. That's just the cost of doing business. But like, I always try to think that like every episode of this show or any show that I do is somebody's first episode. One of the most meaningful discussions that I had about this movie was with Brave. You remember Brave? Mm-hmm. I haven't talked to him in years, but we were just debating the goodness of the film, right? The quality of the film. And my thoughts on the film is that it's always kind of been like a solid C. I understand the cultural impact, but looking at it without the cultural impact, looking at it in a vacuum by itself compared to the other Marvel movies, I consider it to be kind of like your standard, solid, introductory Marvel movie. You know, nothing amazing, nothing shitty, just your C student that's here to win.
I thought they did.
But yeah, let me just finish this. So one of the more fascinating things that he told me that for him anyway, and was that to him, the Killmonger Black Panther discussion and debate was metaphorically consistent with an idea that takes place that I've been raised around a lot of different types of people, and I've never been privy to this, but he said a conversation that happens in a lot of black households that people aren't privy to, which is the am I black or am I African American, and what does that mean to me? You know, and when he told me that and broke that down for me in terms of like, am I black, in terms of am I taking ownership of this title, meaning that I'm a black American and I endured these things that were specific to these experiences ancestrally, and this is now why I am the way I am culturally and blah, 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 blah. Or am I African American, paying homage to both those roots and the African roots prior to, and a lot of times the African American feels that way and wants to tie both together, whereas the person that identifies as black is saying, well, no, the same issues that I have with in a colonial sense of America are the same issues I have with the lack of involvement of Africa once we got here. And like when he told me that, I was like, I fuck with that. Like I like that as an idea. You know, I don't know if everybody's getting that out of it or if he's just thinking into it a bit, but I like it.
I like that take on it, and he's right about that discussion happening behind closed doors. But I hadn't thought about that to that extent, because you can see in Killmonger there is that, you know, y'all didn't do nothing for me while I was over here.
Correct.
And people feel that way. There's
Correct.
actively to this day a disconnect in the diaspora between African Americans and Africans, right? There's a disconnect, and you can see it anywhere on social media, and it shouldn't be that way, but it's the weirdest freaking thing.
I mean, it's a completely different culture.
It is. And so I think for me, it would tie back to us feeling like, well, where do we come from, right? We come from there, right? We come from Africa, but y'all not claiming us. So now we have to develop our own culture over here. But then guess what? Everybody now wants a piece of it. And that's kind of...
Well, and everybody wants to define what it is.
Everybody wants to define what it is. And then it comes back to like, okay, so they, the dialogue, they didn't do anything for us over here. But then guess what? The answer to that is, well, what are we doing for them over there who are going through a lot? Like whether
now.
Now. But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like now. So, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's like, what are we doing over here for them over there who are going through the genocides and the colonialism and even during apartheid,
there's black tribes selling black people, or Africans, I should say, for the sake of terminology for this specific conversation. There are Africans where you can buy from Africans in African for $4,000.
4,000 US.
You know what?
Check my bank account, man. Damn, I'm about to get my taxes back. Imagine me rolling up with a new African. Got the 2026 African on this one.
Does he have the new African smell?
But like atrocities. I guess the point being that atrocities have never stopped happening in really any part of the world.
And unfortunately, they probably never will.
No. I mean, that's
the world is too big to sit there and like, we can't stop every war, every tribal conflict. We can't.
It's also human nature to be as good as we can be. There's also an equally bad thing that we can't be.
It sounds like you read the Epstein files.
I'm sure he has. Actually.
I spent a lot of time on that.
So you're absolutely right, and you can't help everybody, and that's one of the most heartbreaking and unfortunate things about the world we live in. We can raise awareness, we can donate, we can do all that, but guess what? I cannot jump on a plane right now, go over to Africa, and stop all the conflicts. I can't. And
just like Bobby can't hop on a plane to go fix that fucking monkey punch.
Oh God, dude, that poor fucking.
That break your heart.
I'm telling you, man. Like, I saw this meme of this guy. He was in. When I saw that video of that fucking monkey getting pushed away, and him just curling up with that little orangutan, I was like, man, come on. We're not.
The world is bad enough.
Are we really not going to intervene as a species here? So I was scrolling through my phone. The very next meme I saw was this guy. It was like a surveillance footage, like a security camera, and it was like a guy that was obviously involved in some shit. And he had like a leather jacket on and some jeans, and he was like twirling a bat in his hand. And in the meme title, it said, "On my way to Japan to sort these monkeys out." And that's how I felt. I was like, man, fuck every single one of them.
So I mean, there's a lot to Black Panther that, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how I've viewed it.
Can I ask you why, after he's talking about the monkey, did you go back to Black?
No, don't do that.
No.
He's too new.
Because you knew I was gonna. Oh, go ahead. Fucked him up with that one. He's like, so moving on to Captain Marvel.
Because I got more movies to talk about.
Go ahead.
No, so I'm still trying to figure out like how I'm viewing this, and I'm viewing all the Marvel movies without having read any of the comics, having not seen the majority of them when they first came out. And I'm trying to, for my own personal enjoyment, trying to figure out what the basis is. Like, so in all of them, all the comic books are trying to lift up a certain human trait to say this is the way that we should be. Right. And a lot of times the Marvel way is to show the opposite of that and show why that's bad. And then in essence, it elevates the one that we want to look at. So there is interesting things about Black Panther. And I just have to probably watch it again after I finish the other fucking 17 fucking movies. And probably give it another think.
I do say, like, when I watched it, because I got to watch a little bit of Civil War with you, and like just seeing him do that role, man, like Chadwick, like he just carries a certain amount of regalness.
It's gravitas. He has that screen presence.
You know, that like he seems as though he is someone of royalty.
Yeah.
In the most minor things that he says. That fight that happens at the airport, I forget who says what to him. I think it's Spider-Man, and he's making some declaration like, "I'm part of the Avengers," and he just goes, "Who cares?"
Right.
You know, but it's the way it's like, it's no bullshit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
none of that means anything to me. You know,
Well, in a way, though, that makes sense for him because at that time, his character only cared about Wakanda.
That's right.
Correct.
So who gives a
and
fuck
that's
about
and that's
your
somewhat
Avengers?
consistent with him as a character forever. Like I was telling.
Well, but the end of Black Panther, they're now
yeah,
sharing technology, working on. But
Correct.
at that moment, he was of the like, why are we even here?
But
why are we even at the UN?
I have one
We don't
singular
give a
goal,
fuck
and-
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Fuck
true.
everybody else.
That's true. But that there is a trait of that's just true to that character.
Sure,
Where
sure.
like I was saying
But I
this to
think
him
that's
yesterday is that Wakanda to Black Panther is very similar to Gotham to Batman, like in terms of like where their priorities are. You know, like Wakanda comes first to that dude.
Yeah.
You know, and Gotham comes first to Batman. You know.
So there's a lot of things to unpack there, and I think it was an interesting. And I'm still working through this thought, so cut me a little bit of slack on it. I know that culturally, the machine of Hollywood was amplifying the message that this is for Black people.
Or it's important that Black people see
This
it.
is Black culture. This is important, and you know the audience can take whatever they want to take out of it. But if it hits the wrong nerve for me to have a money making machine tell you what's important about you.
You ain't lying. I mean, that's capitalism, though.
I know, but-
Yeah, that's the problem. That's,
But when they start talking about ancestral culture and everything like that, it feels like it should be that.
but you can
don't go there.
weaponize and monetize people's feelings. That's what it is. It's monetizing your emotions and your connection to things, and that I'm guilty of that happening to me. Right. So it's a shame, but they do it.
It doesn't feel insincere to me, though.
Well, I think,
But
because,
it doesn't feel completely sincere to me.
Well, you're
I
never
think
going to
that
get
might be that fantastic element, though, right? Because you got a guy in a cat suit jumping around.
right.
You know, but I think also like, I mean, even like I was going to bring this up as a side note, but like that All the Stars record, you know, the Kendrick SZA record,
love
like
that.
oh, it's fucking great. It's still my top. It might be my favorite Kendrick song, but it's at least in my top 5, if not my top 3. You know, but that's choosing those two artists is like it's the right choice for that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it was disingenuous, really.
I think the best part about that whole everything with that movie was the fact that it could have been a very much a commercial, money grab for Black people. Hey, we're gonna put these buzzwords, kind of like Target in February, but instead you go with Ryan Coogler as the director. You go with, like you said, Kendrick and SZA on the side. Like I think the people involved, even though they knew that this huge company is trying to profit off of our culture, we're going to make this something special despite them. And yeah, they're going to get their coins, but at the same time, we're going to write a love letter to the culture, right?
And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if I feel like it's to spite them either. Like I think they found a balance with it that makes sense for all parties. My issue that I had with it from a cultural perspective, actually I had 2, if we're going to get into it, but one was the narrative that started going around of Killmonger was right. And it's like, are you not watching this fucking movie? Are you not seeing what the message really is here? Like, Killmonger is the villain. Right. And my other issue was, I'll tell you, this is a personal story. So Porter, who is a friend of ours that we both know and both love dearly, came to me and like was like, I saw Black Panther, like, you know, like, so, like, and I was like, yeah, I saw it too. I saw it opening night, like, of course. And he's like, yeah, I like that. And I was like, oh, whoa. This is make no mistake. This is you coming into my world, not me coming into yours. I've been reading comic books since you were in short pants. You know, like, but you know, it's stuff like that. Like I think sometimes when you can't ignore identity, But I think it's sometimes in the same breath, if you focus too much on identity, you can't see the forest from the trees. And I take away what I think is most often the case, similar to what Derek B was saying last time when he was like, well, you know, in the black community, black men don't like talking to therapists. It's like, no, Derek, I'm sorry, but that's just men.
Right.
Men don't like talking to therapists. Right. You know, there's a stigma to the shit. You know, the same thing happens in Irish households. It happens in black households. It happens in Italian households. It happens in poor white trash households. It happens in.
And I know what he's talking about. And two things can be true, right? So, but you're absolutely right. That's a men thing.
Of saying that I am getting back to like the forest and the trees thing is like if we can all take a look at it without saying this is ours and not yours,
right?
Or then perhaps we can see we're a lot more alike than we are different.
I got you.
Yeah.
This message brought to you by. But no, you're absolutely right. There are certain things you can't just attribute to one group, right? Because you can tell just off the top of my head, you can tell a story about women, like we talk about, you know, my wife this or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter. You got a black guy, a white guy, Asian guy, and Mexican. We all know without saying a word exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
You know, so it's not exclusive to my cultural experience. It's like we all got to deal with the same shit at home.
Right. Right.
You know?
It's like, well, you know how it is for white guys. When we go to the dentist, it's never good enough for them. We never did a good enough job. That's just for white guys. You know how it is. It's like, no, the dentist is dissatisfied with everyone equally.
I think when you start to attribute everything to one particular race or culture, it dilutes the things that are exclusive to that culture, and it makes, you know, when everything's important, then nothing's important.
Yes.
So
yes, I agree. What else? Anything?
Yeah. So let me see here. I'm sorry, my phone was going crazy there for a second.
Yeah,
so I watched Spider-Man: Homecoming. Mm-hmm. And this. So last week I said that that Spider-Man in Civil War was my favorite version of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Right. And I might have spoken too soon because it was cool in like little 15, 20-minute little scenes.
Bite size.
2 hours of some fucking 16-year-old kid being like, "Oh God, I'm just a fucking kid." I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" I still want to bang his aunt.
Yeah,
still want to bang his aunt.
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
Marissa
Tomei.
Yeah,
but I thought the movie was interesting. The whole like, of course, the girlfriend's fucking father is the bad guy.
Yeah, Vulture.
Of fucking course.
I love that it was Michael Keaton though.
Yeah.
Because like not only the Batman connection, but he also played that like Birdman.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like
So
like that was a fine movie, right? Another one of the fine ones.
I love the interaction. I agree with you. I think it's fine as well.
Yeah.
But I love the interaction with Peter and him where he knows.
And was it in the car?
Yeah, in the car.
Yeah. And they had that green tint.
That's a great moment.
That was a great scene.
The other cool moment that I thought was when he goes to the new Avengers complex or whatever, and so he's offered the full-time position in the Avengers, and he turns it down. Like I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then he turns around, he's like, "So that was a test, right?" And like, "Yep." It's like, fuck. That was, I did not see that coming. That was good.
Yeah.
And then we got to the last movie that I watched, Doctor Strange.
Okay.
And I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
So I like the first act. I like the bit with him being the surgeon, getting in the wreck, having to deal with all that. When the moment it starts getting into the superhero element of it, that's where that movie starts to fall apart for me.
Yeah, and so we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but you know, like he's new to it. He's new to this ability and everything, and then all of a sudden he's better than everybody fucking else.
And he fights a giant California raisin at the end.
Fights the raisin. So that part was cool to me. So like just how he defeated him.
Once again, another great music choice. Ding, 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 ding. When they started.
The things that stand out to you, man.
Can you imagine?
That would have been great. Lean into it. At this point, lean into it.
But yeah, so I thought it was fun that because if you think about it, like how is he going to defeat that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
the most powerful sorcerer of the evil realms.
So, you know, introducing something that it doesn't really have to be introduced because we live with it all the time. Mm-hmm. Time.
And raisins.
And raisins. Well,
which is nature's candy.
Right, but they were grapes.
At one point.
but time happened. So yeah,
Perfect.
so next up, we got Ragnarok, Ant-Man and Wasp, and Infinity War.
and then the Promised Land.
Right. So, I'm gonna watch Ragnarok and Ant-Man and Wasp tomorrow, so that Friday
We can watch.
we can watch Infinity War.
Yeah, I love that fucking.
That's always a good. It's always a good time to watch that.
That's one of those movies to me. It's similar to The Dark Knight, where like one of my biggest complaints about it is you can only see it for the first time once.
So yeah. So
And that'll be your first time seeing it, right?
Yep.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous, man.
It's a good one.
So planning on dipping out of work early, and then swinging by the spot and watching that. So that'd be good.
Anything else?
Yeah. One last thing.
Okay.
I imagine it might be in yours as well, though.
Okay.
So last night, watched the State of the Union.
Yeah.
I was at 50,000. That's amazing.
What was it?
So the Dow, it's amazing.
So so if you're not a,
Look at them; they won't even stand up. Isn't it incredible?
think about it. Think about it.
Think about it.
Just think
Think about it. Just think about it. Can you think? Can you even think of it?
Jesus.
Can
So,
you
like,
even do it?
I don't like him, right? And I don't think that I'm telling people something they don't already know. If you've listened,
Yeah. No, I think you've made it pretty clear where you stand with him.
the most upsetting thing to me was
I want to just interject for just a second. I don't like him as a friend, and I don't like him as my president.
but he brings entertainment.
He's a
Yes,
good character.
He's a good
He's
character. And like
he's Biff.
I would be okay if he was somebody else's president.
Shut up.
Sure.
Put him somewhere else.
I would like that too.
That'd be funny as
he
shit.
makes me laugh.
I would like that too.
But he'd have to be president of somewhere that can't really do any harm to anyone else. Like you can't. Don't make him the president of fucking like North
He
Korea.
should be the president of Greenland.
Yeah.
What about a trade-off? What a trade-off that would be.
You just put him
I'd
there.
sign off on that.
All three dog sleds at his
At his disposal. And listen, if for anybody listening, don't think this is a partisan thing for me. I hate all politicians. I hate them. I hate your favorite one. I hate your least favorite one. I hate them. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I fuck the system, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just talking about this guy because he gave a fucking speech last night.
Yeah. So the thing that is really upsetting to me is so as we were watching it, right? I'm just doing the most basic level fact checking, right?
That's all it takes.
And like immediately, I'm like, well, that's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. So like, there was one. I know math is not your strong suit
At all.
but maybe you can follow along in this math with me.
Okay. Is it quick mouse?
It's quick mouse.
Okay.
So Trump said that he has secured $18 trillion worth of investments, right? So it sounds like a lot of money, right? Do you know what the GDP of the world is? It's 117 trillion. So if we take that number, right, and we say, what is the United States GDP, right? Because we'd have to subtract that from the world. 30 trillion.
Okay.
Right, so we're down less than 90 trillion. He secured 20% of the world's money as investments for the country.
Just makes noise for that.
Man,
I
the
just
great deal maker.
The art of the deal.
The art of the deal. That's it.
but like,
Got them aliens paying some fucking money.
I saw an alien in that audience last
there's
night.
more than one.
I saw an alien in that fucking audience last night. I was like, that's not a human being. Look at the size of his head.
I'll tell you which one was a human being.
Which one?
That little raspberry.
Oh yeah, that little rat. No, so look. So look, I'm watching this shit. Okay. There's this big girl like in the front row, right? And she's on
Next to the
she's
judges.
She's got a little burgundy number on, and
It's not little, by the way.
And she's a thicker girl, and she's sitting with the judges, so she's sitting like on the Democrat side, right? But she keeps standing up and clapping, so she's standing out, and she's also a bigger girl, right? And I was like, man, look at this big old raspberry. Like I started to make it, but then there was a shot where it was behind her. and she looked over to see if any other Democrats were standing up, and she like looked over her shoulder at him, and I was like, damn, I was like, why did she just change and go up in my book the way she looked over her shoulder like that? Now she's my sweet little raspberry.
Get that look.
He went a little that raspberry jam.
I was like, man, talk about like, you know, like a, you know, you just don't.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that's just infuriating to me. Is like it's just easy to sniff out lies, right? And just bold face, don't care. Nobody's going to question it.
I don't think, and this once again is a, and I don't want to stay on this too long, but like, I don't even think it's a partisan thing. I think both. I think everybody is expecting their at minimum the side they oppose to be lying.
Yeah, I'm not. I would rather
you thought he was going to get up there and tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Say
no,
guy.
I want them to.
No, different question. What's your expectation?
Well, he wouldn't be able to talk for 2 hours. If he wasn't lying.
That's what I'm saying is I don't think that we can conceive it any other way anymore.
Well, maybe not now, which is depressing, I think, because like it used to be that you would just have a different solution to a problem, right? And it's not a lie. You think
right? No, I get
the
that.
fastest
I get the
way to get somewhere is to get on Route 70 and go that way, and I'm like, no, no,
no, 144.
This time of day, it's 144, and we can have different views, and they're not lies.
Right. Agreed.
That's the way I want politics to be.
But I think I do too. But I don't expect that anymore.
But
that's a shame, though.
But that's the problem.
Agreed. Also, I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying objectively, it's what it is. I'm saying that nobody anybody who's not a fan of Trump expected him to get up there and lie.
Right. I mean, yeah.
It's just sad to me that the lies are not even. They're not even good lies anymore, right? Like, I'm going to give you 600% off prescriptions.
So they're going to pay me to take my medication? That's awesome.
So I went to that fucking TrumpRx.gov or whatever, and the only thing I found on there really were GLP-1 meds.
But I think it's
funny how that works.
So when they asked,
I mean, there's other stuff on.
Remember when they were asking like Kamala and is there anything going on with Biden? Like, is there anything going on with him? He doesn't seem.
And they didn't say.
And they're like, no, he's great. He's great.
And that was
he's doing
the downfall, I think.
You know, but I think everybody on the opposite side of that was like, of course that's what they said. I wouldn't expect them to say anything different. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the world we live in now, unfortunately.
And then the only other one, well, there's a lot of them. So I'll tell you what. I think it's crazy that people just accept these ridiculous lies. Mm-hmm. The fact that we still haven't figured out who pays for tariffs is mind-boggling. And I'm looking forward to.
Well, I think the Supreme Court has.
Except
they don't matter.
Except for he doubled down.
Yeah.
No, but the Supreme, that doesn't have anything to do with what the Supreme Court's figured out.
Oh, they knew.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I think the Supreme Court has figured it out. You know? I also think that, like, I don't know, man. It's just...
like, the whole being told that things are cheaper now.
So some things are. I looked into this last night. I got a list of it.
Is cheaper?
No. I wish I had it ready, but there's, like... Somebody broke down everything that he mentioned, and it was like... These things are down 7%, 6%, 10%, and these things are up 10%, 7%. 30%.
I think it's like a shell game almost.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say that it's not down.
I'd have to look at the numbers. I don't remember it being significant one way or the other, but it was clear at the minimum. See, for me, I don't even get lost in the minutia of that because, like, it's still not honest.
Right.
Sure. And my expectations, I don't believe these people. I don't believe anybody that was wearing a suit in that fucking room last night. I'm out. You know, and then I watched the Democratic response to it.
Yeah,
which was interesting because you could kind of see where the marketing is headed. Do you feel safe? Do you have more money? That's mark my words.
Oh, that's 100% their playbook.
That's the marketing now. Like for November is, you know what I mean? And I don't think it's a bad play. I think it's the logical play. But it was just interesting to see. It's like almost like I was in at the ground level of where these like next.
Yeah, they've been testing it all.
This next group of hashtags. I can't wait for the bumper stickers.
I mean, affordability has been the Democrats' thing for a while now.
Republicans last 2 years ago.
Except for, Trump says that they just made it up recently.
You know what I mean? It's like the same. It's like the game doesn't change, only the players. Like that's why, man, I don't get behind none of this shit. Let me talk to you guys about my weekend. I had a phenomenal weekend. I talked to you a bit about it already. So it was my wife and I's anniversary.
Congratulations, happy anniversary! I saw.
Yeah, it makes noise for us. But so we did what we usually do. But we went out Friday, went to Tyson's, did some shopping and stuff. But I don't say anything special about that, but what was great about it was we were able to have some really good conversations, and conversations specifically about like, you know, where we are, the two of us are, because we've had a rocky couple years, like not anywhere near threatening of divorce or anything like that, but just like,
thanks.
Not that there's anything wrong with that if it leads to the happiness of both people, but like we've been in sync for so long that like you could tell, it's like you could tell when there's the slightest little pebble in the shoe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of that stems from the dog. A lot of it's like there's a number of different components that have been playing into it, and like we kind of got to get some of it off our chest, and it didn't go to a defensive place, which I feel like here somehow like it's like the walls are set up for us to like choose our corners.
Yeah. When you talk about shit at home, it's different than when you're out of this space.
Yes,
you're right.
Yes,
it's like studying at the library versus in your
yes.
Yes.
You're right. So we got to get to some good places there, which I value. But I really bring it up to say that you know, did what we like to do. We fucked. We spent money irresponsibly. Careful what you ask for. You just
Fair
might.
enough.
I don't want to say.
I was like, I got to get a picture of this. It's the size of your face. Anyway, so you know, we shopped, we spent money irresponsibly, we drank, we ate great food, had great sex, and then the next day went to this, what I really want to get to, this museum in Montgomery County that I highly recommend you go to. It's called Glenstone.
I've been there.
Glenstone, and it's free. And
Is this a big outdoor one?
It's partially outdoor, partially indoor, but it is huge.
Yeah.
Like the huge, the biggest.
This is the one I've been to.
Spell that again.
Glenstone.
Oh, Glenstone.
Yep.
You said it like it was different. That's all.
Yeah, no. So
I've been there twice.
it's amazing. It's fucking amazing. So it's all a tax write off for these billionaires, but whatever. I can look past it. And similarly to the cultural significance of Black Panther, it's a tax write off for these billionaires, right? But these 3 billionaires own it, and they don't charge the public, so they can write it off. And it's their private collections with museums built around it. So you're looking at their collection. You know, it's like, it would be like if I sold tickets, people come down here and look at this shit.
You probably could.
You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe not a ton of money, but you get at least $1.
But anyway, they had an incredible, Basquiat's and fucking like, you know, just an incredible collection of sculptures that were the size of my house, you know.
Did you like the, I don't remember, it's like a horse?
The riding horse head.
Yeah.
It's like grows the plants and shit out of it. So it's winter, so we didn't get to see the plants and stuff, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was telling Laura, like, and I admittedly, like, I'm an artsy fartsy dude. But like, there's something about, like, I love going to a museum, especially modern art. Like, it's my bag. But like, there's something about being in a environment where you don't have to worry about distractions or consider distractions. All you are taking in are these visual works. And it just puts my mind in a different place of whether I like it or not. I'm not thinking about the world in the same way while I'm in that environment. And I take a lot of value in that.
Did you see the one where they cut like a trench out and then let the earth kind of it filled back in, and
it almost looks like
looking down on it.
It almost looks like a Ninja Turtles grimace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy who did that one, he did one other one, which is called Collapse. That's inside the pavilion. That's like a 15-foot drop of all these beams, like laying kind of haphazardly. That but yeah, I saw that. But yeah, it was amazing. I highly recommend. Good spot to go with the lady.
That's why I wrote it down.
Yep. So that was great.
I think I went on Thanksgiving last year.
Okay.
Thanksgiving or Christmas.
That's cool.
It was weird.
Saturday night, we came back to the house and took a nap because we had a late night Friday, and took a nap, and then went back out on the town Saturday night. Good drinks, good food, good sex.
Out on the town?
Yeah, out on the town.
Just nice.
In this town?
In this town, a little bit in this town. Went to a couple other towns. Like
Go out back of the restaurant and get a little.
Oh no, not directly in this town. And then had to pick the kids up the next day because we're still parents for a couple more years, and then came home and chilled out. And I had a Zoom meeting, which was actually a great Zoom meeting.
Yeah, apparently I missed the somebody was trying to summon me.
They were saying fans toys 3 times to see if you would appear. And then I think that's. Let me double check my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, I had an incredible weekend, and my wife and I are in a really great place. Here's a good story. I got 2. All right, so Laura wanted to listen to this podcast. Laura asked if I would listen to this podcast while we were driving. We're driving anyway. I'm down to listen to a podcast. Mm-hmm. It's by this woman that she listens to from time to time that I think is incredibly annoying, and I think Laura exhibits some guru-seeking behavior with her, but whatever. I can get past it. She's like the female Joe Rogan for these people. But anyway, we're going down the road, and this woman is saying how they're used to the myth of the G-spot orgasm. And
sorry, go back one more time. What was this?
This is in this podcast. And this woman was talking about, she had a guest on and was talking about the myth of the G-spot orgasm.
Okay.
So the idea of a female being able to have a clitoral orgasm versus a G-spot orgasm is a Freudian idea. And most women, when they were talking about orgasm, were reporting that they could have a clitoral orgasm. But Freud was saying there was also a G-spot orgasm. And most women were reporting they could not have a G-spot orgasm. Now, the G-spot orgasm was only being referred to by people that were having an orgasm during sex. And the clitoral orgasm was people referring to orgasms they were having while masturbating. Now, only 18% of all women can have a vaginal orgasm during intercourse. It's like extremely rare, right? So always with you with the black fist in the air. So what Freud was saying was that the G-spot orgasm is a more mature orgasm, and the clitoral orgasm, which is caused by masturbation, that's an immature orgasm. It's not the full orgasm. But what he was basically saying was, if you're masturbating, you're not getting the real deal. In order to get the real deal, you got to start fucking, bitch. You know. And so I just looked over at Laura and I was like, Freud was a real one.
I like that.
Freud was looking out. So real quick, I have this character flaw.
Just the one?
Yeah. I was about to say.
Where
lucky.
I sometimes
scream racial slurs out.
No, that's not it. That's not it. And from what I hear, that's a neurological flaw.
Well, I think that
so they say anyway. But so I have a tendency. I'm very particular about who I really want to spend time with, but I have this tendency to want to be liked by people. Mm-hmm. But then once they like me, if I don't like them, I want to I want to disgust them.
Okay, like with them or with other people?
I want to like repulse them. I want to push them.
Disgust.
Yes.
Not disgust.
No. I want to bring them in to prove that I can get them to like me.
And then get rid of them.
And then be like, gross, you guys. I don't want anything to do with your lot. And push them away.
Okay.
So it happened the other night. and this isn't actually fair because I actually do like these people, but I just found myself doing it. Like, I was at a softball practice, and
Did they ask for more money?
no, but they were talking about what were they talking about? How did we get there? Oh, television, right? My favorite topic.
Right away. Kill your God.
So that's where we end up. So they were like, oh, I'm watching this show, and this show, and this show, and this show, and we're binging this show, and I'm watching this show, and I'm just looking at them like, how the fuck? I'm like, this is abnormal. This is an anomaly. And then the next one enters in with, oh, really? Well, I'm watching all of those shows plus this show, and this show, and this show. And I'm like, okay, two max. Third person jumps in. I like those shows, but I'm also considering this show, and I'm binging this show. And I'm like, and I'm just sitting to myself like, how the fuck do these people consume all this television? Like, where is their time in the day to consume this much television? So,
probably the same amount of time in a day that it's 19 Marvel movies in the last.
No, it's way worse. You should look, they're all an hour long, and they're just rattling them off. Everything that Chicago does, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Milkman, the Chicago newspaper guy, the Chicago baker, the Chicago butcher.
The Chicago newspaper guy is a good show.
Great show. Action packed.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, and then because one show is about like chemicals or something, and they know I'm mopping. So they were like, hey, are you watching this show with all the chemicals? And I was like, no. And they were like, you should watch it. And I was like, look.
Soap and bleach, bitch.
I was like, look, I'm never going to watch that. And they were like, what? And I was like, I know that's odd to hear, because in the society we just tell people, cool, I'll check it out, and we never do. But I'm letting you know, I'm never watching that. I'm never gonna watch that.
Give them the crazy eyes too.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna.
I love that. That's great.
I'm not gonna look into it. I'm not gonna watch a trailer. I'm never watching that. And like, I can see a couple people laughing, so they're still there, right? And they're like, you're not a big TV guy. And I was like, well, when it comes to TV, I subscribe to the kind of last two bars of Astonishing Paranoia of the End Times. Are you familiar with that record? And of course they say yes. I don't believe them, but they say yes. And I say, kill your God, kill your TV. And like, you could have heard a pin drop. And then Laura's like, and like grabs him. Like, this young person who's there is like, wait, just kill your, and then like another mom is like, nah, I'm just trying to like dismiss it. And I was like, there's it. And then I leveled it out. I was like, look, there's an obsession in American culture with the television, and they treat it like a fucking deity. And I'm just not on that, and then I think it was cool, but I think I get this like, this rush of like, it's like groups of people for me can be like a like an aquarium that you can hold in this palm of your hand, right?
It's a pretty small aquarium.
Very. And
like a beta fish.
Yeah, almost.
I got a big aquarium for my beta,
or maybe even a snow globe.
I like that more,
but it's half empty.
Oh God.
Or half full.
Yeah.
Half empty to me.
But the fact that like once I contain that water in that snow globe or that aquarium, that once I tilt it this way, all the water goes down. Yeah, like remember those like things in the 80s that were like, it was like purple ink or whatever, and you could like watch the purple ink move this way, and then like the water would move up here, and then you move it this way, and then it displaces the other. And I think I treat people's emotions like that when I'm not fully committed to them, where I'm like, oh look, I can make them all happy,
because they're not real people, they're NPCs to you.
Right, yeah.
They're not necessary for the story to continue.
Yeah. Now look, I've made them all shocked.
I wonder if I can level them out.
Can we scare them? like, and I keep fucking manipulating the thing, and the joy of it. And I think if I shock them, I think I get as much enjoyment out of that as if I make them all laugh. It's just that I disturbed the ink.
Yeah.
You know?
You gotta be careful with that.
I know. Like I said, I started off with it's a character flaw. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. I'm just. It's easy to get obsessed with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you don't care about how what you're doing is affecting the world around you, and it's just about playing with it. It's not really a toy
The super
because there can be consequences.
Yeah, no, I think that's me. Let's see what else. The only other thing was when we were in Tyson's, they had this. Well, no, so we went to Uncle Julio's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. You ever went to the one in Montgomery County?
Not the one in Montgomery County.
So the one in Montgomery County is like by the water and everything, and it's like they had a fair going on down there, like a little winter fair or whatever. Or maybe it was Valentine's, who knows? And they had like a couple bullshit rides or whatever, and then they had like little write-ups about them. Like one was about the Ferris wheel, and one was about the merry-go-round, and like the two creators had never actually met one another because they traveled in different circles. But you know,
I see. I
just got damn it.
I knew it. And where did you see that? Because I saw it too.
I saw it on some
Hit me
reel or
late.
some shit. You know? Like,
I saw it too recently. I thought about using it, and I was like, that one's too bad.
Oh, Jesus. I was so invested in your story. Yeah.
that's the key. All right, so then moving on to notes, we just have a few R.I.P. to Jazzy Jackson. Not that I wanted it to happen, but serendipitous once again.
Man, I tell you what, it's been a rough month. It's been a rough month. Oh, jeez.
So, obviously, iconic character in civil rights and all that kind of stuff. He's been like a hit or miss character because of his involvement with censoring music and stuff, which has been important to me. But I mean, I get it.
I got you. Culture of the United States, not just black, but he's a big figure. You know, there's good and bad with everybody,
of course.
You know, and so I'll just leave it at that.
No one's all saint nor sinner.
That's right.
But rest in peace to friends and thoughts with friends, families, and fans, of course. Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. I hate it.
So why does it? So it's got what's his name in it?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro.
He's Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like this obsession with like putting a big name into movies that are going to do well regardless.
Yeah.
Like just choose the best actor.
Yeah. Well, he's been him for. Or are you saying at the beginning of the show?
beginning of it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah,
fair.
and to your point, with that exact point, it's funny. I heard something about that with the recent film, Zootopia.
Yep.
Zootopia 2.
That fat ass rabbit boy.
Man, but they hired all these big actors to play roles, big and small. Sometimes one line thing. When they're like, what about voice actors? What about the people who do these things? Like, you know, the movie's gonna be successful.
Right.
Nobody cares that the girl who played Moana is the voice on this talking pin or whatever.
Right.
You know, so there's something to be said about that. Like, we have to have these names attached to, like you said, a thing that's going to succeed regardless.
Yeah, it's another Star Wars thing. It's going to do
Numbers.
decently well.
Yep.
It just looks like to me, and you haven't seen Mandalorian, which is fine. You don't need to. But like to me, the movie just looks like one long episode. Maybe that's the point, which I think is fair. But it doesn't do anything to excite me about seeing it. I will go see it. And it does do the classic Star Wars thing where like the meme comes from, where like every time there's a Star Wars trailer, there's always some Star Wars nerd going, look, they put shit Pippins in it. Like, there it is.
You know, I probably would have been more likely to watch The Mandalorian if it were just a movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, because it's like
A smaller investment, you know.
well, no, it's not necessarily the smaller investment.
For me, it is.
For me, like you can make 36 fucking movies and I'll watch them.
Apparently, yeah.
To me, it's the time constraint on your storyline, right? So even if you make an episode 4, right, that's a movie, it has to work in that time constraint of that movie. I don't want to see it to be continued with a cliffhanger. Tell your story, get it out. If there's more to the story, get enough of it together, make it a movie, put it out. But I shouldn't have to watch them back to back to back in order to understand what this shit like. So that's what a lot of these shows loses me, is because now it's just about making it as long as possible with as much filler as possible to keep you on the
platform,
the whatever. And it's like, just tell your fucking story.
Yeah.
And if it's good, I'll probably fucking watch it again.
And it used to be that was an exercise of skill. Is like, look how concisely they told this story.
Yeah.
Like, concise used to be a word of admiration.
Right.
You know, like now it's like, no, go. You haven't seen the documentary about the boat that just went out to sea and came back? It's 18 episodes. You should watch
You should check it out.
You know, I'm never going to. Then there's the Mummy trailer, the full trailer now. So here's my beef with this. If this wasn't titled The Mummy, there's nothing about this that would suggest to me it was about a mummy.
Well, except for the
Mummy.
yeah.
Well, they do show one scene putting gauze on, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's otherwise it looks more like an Exorcist type movie than it does like a mummy,
Like a possession movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You know. So I'm out on that now.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll let you know how it is.
Please do. Yeah. We'll catch up next year. Now this one, and I'm not the best with pronouncing things from other cultures and languages. Fukushima.
Sounds about right.
This looks great to me. It's a documentary series, HBO, talking about the sacrifices made, and
They saw how well Chernobyl did.
yeah. And to be fair, while I liked Chernobyl, I would have probably liked a documentary just as much, if not better.
I think that both have their
Agreed.
because there's been plenty of Chernobyl docs also.
Yeah. But this looks really good, like a really good doc, like the interviews with the people and like that Japanese mindset. Like a lot of the old guys like kind of stepped up and told the young guys to go home, and they were, you know, like, because they were like, we lived our lives. Like,
Well, so that's one of the things I liked about Chernobyl too. And as long as all that stuff is real,
there was a sequel.
That's what
as well.
they did it again.
Well, so
It's too much.
it might
One too many.
It
Yeah,
might happen again if the Russians keep going after that fucking sarcophagus they got around it. It might happen again.
It's true.
But so like the idea of like you work there, right? Mm-hmm. And if a problem goes down, you might just have to sacrifice yourself to make sure it's not a world problem.
Right.
Right. Like, so it's just a little bit more of like people taking accountability
Yeah.
for
I'm
like,
so selfish.
And
I say
sacrificing.
everybody's coming out with me. That's it. I'm taking the world out.
Real quick, moving through some of this stuff. But I am going to watch that.
definitely going to watch it.
I'm going to watch that one. Star Wars Racer video game for the, like, I'm a little disappointed it's not all pod racing. I wanted it to be all pod racing. Now it's just some pod racing. But they did show Ben Quadinaros at the end, which is always a joy for me. That's Shit Pippin's cousin, if you didn't know. And then lastly, finished them. There was that ice skaters thing where they did the Mortal Kombat shit. I think they did it at the Olympics. Like, they dressed up kind of in like Sub-Zero / Katana type outfits and like choreographed the skating routine around like a Mortal Kombat fight. It's pretty cool. Link is in there if you ever get
I'll check it out.
Yeah. And then questions. And if you have one,
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
Big brain on Bob, not needing a reminder.
yeah, and also like these guys today have time constraints, so I'm trying to make sure that we get out of here in a timely manner. So Majin Planet writes in and says, "Hello NRR, it's your friendly neighborhood, hard to pronounce Majin Planet here once again. Fantastic episode. I agree that Age of Ultron was rough. It almost felt like it could have been its own little mini saga, if you will. Question for Bobby or Joey, whenever Joey returns to answer that for himself. Joey will be here next week. As I've been making my way up the hill, that is the Bobby Skullface Patreon, I've come across some hidden treasures, including an episode called Statue Talk. You might have missed my comment there. All good. I'll just insert it here, so to speak. Now you got me saying that. I'd love it if you and Joey could make this a monthly pod or even an every other month show. As someone with little to no room left who has still been eyeballing statues, I wouldn't even know where to start. I have a few, a Shivan Dragon statue I've had since 99, and a few, as you call, bookend ones. That episode was a great introduction for me, but I'd love to hear more. Maybe some deep dives into what you choose and piece over another, the history behind certain statue lines, or even a few horror stories along the way. Either way, I'm loving the content. So I will say this, and I did see your comment. Every comment on Patreon I do see. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to get to them sometimes, so I don't always respond, but I do make a point to see them via email. I did see it. When we did that episode, which I clearly remember doing, we did it as like a one shot, like this is what we have to say about this. I'd have to listen to it again and see if there's anything that I needed to kind of readdress. But I don't know if there's enough there on that bone, so to speak, for Joey and I to do it. Now, I will say this. There is talk of another podcast coming to Patreon of me, Angry Gary, and then maybe Joey, maybe Farrell, whoever wants to jump in, of sitting down, watching a movie together and either discussing the movie afterwards or doing a commentary during the movie after we've seen it all.
I was about to say, if we're doing commentary during, this is the one I wanted to do a year ago.
Yeah. So I haven't completely contrived it or conceived it yet. But something is going to happen there. Then he says, either way, I'm loving the content. It's definitely been a journey so far. So far, I found 52 pieces of content to unlock. Perhaps by the end, I'll find. I've started working on that for you. I wish you would have sent them one by one because 52 is it's a little overwhelming for me. But I will try. I've unlocked the first 3. And I will continue to do so or work my way through it. But it's going to get confusing when I'm like, I got to count 25 links down.
You can print it out and cross them off.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm being honest with you, but I'm going to try my best to work through this. I figured it was easier to just give a list or post that are locked for me. Some of them I can see why they may be locked. No rush. So this was Majin Planet. I love you, but this was not the easier way. One by one, I could have got that shit done for you, Johnny on the spot, as they call it. But I will do my best here. I want to do it. Okay, so Astartes Pete writes in, hello, lovely boys. Hope you're good. And if you're back, Joey, hope you had an amazing trip. He'll be back next week. It's not a question this week. It's just flowers. Bobby just did a Bobby Boogie Bop episode on Van Halen. I'm an 80s kid and a rock fan. I never really gelled with their music. Big fan of Eddie's guitar work. As always, it's a great listen, not just for the music, but the history of the band. Partway through, you tell the story of how Eddie ended up playing on Michael Jackson's Beat It, a song I've not listened to in more than a decade and forgotten just how good it is. Fuck yeah. There's more. Christmas 1990, I got a Sharp Twin tape cassette deck, a big deal as you can copy tapes with it. The first album I copied was my older brother's. It was Thriller because it had Beat It on it. I have this really clear memory of us sitting down Christmas morning listening to it as I copied it. That's a memory I've not recalled for probably 25 years. How the hell do you thank the guy that made you remember that? Damned if I know. But shouting about the kind of guy he is and the kind of stuff he's doing on Patreon is a start. Oh, that's a very kind thing to say. Sincerely, Bobby, thank you. Can't tell you what it meant to me. Peace and a whole lot of love. Oh, I appreciate that. That's very kind. And then last one is from Scott. He writes in and says, hello, NRR. Hey, Joey, or if anyone else is there and not Joey. Today is Evan, the king of Pasa-Kanda. Did you know the Death Star has ears? It's true. It has engineers. As I write today, I'll give you one. As I write today, it is the day I'm going to see Nine Inch Nails for the first time since '94. My wife surprised me with tickets recently, and I can't wait. This will be our first time seeing them together and her first Nine Inch Nails concert. It's always nice to check a box, so to speak, but that day is still young. Is there a band or artist any of you have not seen in a while that you wish to see again? No, sorry, Chris Gaines does not count. So let's get to that first. I regret 2 concerts not going to last year because I didn't know it was going to become such a thing with my family. Manson was touring and seems like he's got his act back together again, and I wish I would have saw that. And Wu-Tang toured, and that'll probably be the last time that they tour together, and I wish I would have gone and saw that. And I would have had I known that my kids were going to enjoy concerts so much, but I was like, yeah. So those are some 2 right off the top of my head. I never saw Hove live, and anybody that knows me knows that guy's a god to me. So I would love for that opportunity.
You met him though, right?
Met him at the airport briefly. Just said, all I said was, Jay. You know, I was 15 years old. I was like, he was walking through the airport. This is Reasonable Doubt era, and I was just, Jay, and he didn't break stride. Just looked over at me. He had a gray Nautica sweatsuit with orange accents on it. I'll never forget it. And just looked over at me and went, and like nodded his head. And this sounds like some bitch shit, but I had to go in the bathroom and put water on my face.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe what had just happened. Blew my little 15-year-old mind, so to speak. What about you guys? Any concerts or artists that you would have liked to have seen that you haven't? I would love to see Kanye. like I would be willing to do an awful lot and pay an awful lot to see Kanye and take my family to see Kanye. That's probably number one on my list. So anyway, but that being said, good.
So if I remember correctly, there was like in the late 90s, was it Manson and Rammstein touring together?
I don't think so. Manson and Rob Zombie. Yeah, that's and they're together again now, and Orgy's opening up for them, and I kind of fuck with Orgy too.
Yeah, so that's one that I wish I had an opportunity to go see that, and I didn't, and I should have.
Yeah,
but that's the only one I can think of that I should have gone to.
Yeah. I'm kind of really just now getting into my concert era, which is great. We went to a few last year, and it was amazing. So, we in talking about it, we're literally making a list for people we want to see this year. But there's some old school acts that I wish I was able to see in concert. Like you talk about people like Prince and Michael.
Oh yeah,
Jay-Z being another one. I would absolutely go to a Kanye concert. Rihanna, she's not touring anymore.
Right.
There's a handful of people who I would love to have seen. Anita Baker when she was, good.
Whitney
is another one. Like there's people who I'm like, man, I wish I had seen them.
Yeah.
And these are people who I would say passed in the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, I was an adult. I could have gone to those shows, but you didn't know how important it was. And we have this feeling where we feel like everybody's going to be around forever.
Yeah.
And so that I think plays a big role in the experiences we choose to partake in.
And we're lucky, man. I say it all the time, like to my kids. I'm like, I hate to rub it in your face, so to speak, but like, I saw Prince play the guitar, not live, but live on television.
Right.
I saw Whitney sing, not live, but live on television. I saw Michael perform, not live, but live on television. Like I saw, I saw Madonna be provocative, not live, but live on television. Like I got to see the gods of my time, and they're still gods of your time in a way,
Well, we're also lucky where we are, right? Because just the number of venues,
Correct.
right? So like from DC to Baltimore and then
Philly.
Yeah, we're close to New Jersey.
We're 90 minutes away from huge venues.
2 hours and 45 from New York.
Right.
On a train.
When we went to see Beyonce last year, it was in MetLife Stadium. That was a couple hours at max. And, it was so easy. So that's one of those things where.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally I focus on stand-up comedians.
I love comedy shows.
So there's a couple of them that, so I have seen quite a few of the list of ones that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
But there are a couple that
I'd love to see Chappelle.
I saw Mitch Hedberg live.
Okay.
Before he died.
Okay.
In like 2003 or something like that.
I see that like every now and then I'll catch it. They'll play it on reruns or whatever. But that Robin Williams live on Broadway, like that would have been a fucking moment, Eddie, in his prime.
So that's the other thing.
Bill Burr, I would have,
I've seen Bill Burr once.
Yeah, that's cool.
And before he got like ridiculously popular.
Right.
And to your point, Broadway is another thing. If you want to see a Broadway show, see it now, like for real, because you're like, oh, this is always playing on Broadway, but it everything is temporary.
I want to see that Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
that's the one I want to see.
Yeah.
And then he said, Bobby, although I'm not a hip hop guy, my lane is industrial, goth, and electronic music. I love all that stuff, too. I really appreciated the Some Hit Wonders of hip hop that you did on Bobby Boogie Bop recently, and to my surprise, I actually knew some songs on your list. This has led me to find artists in other genres of music, mainly the ones I listen to. I wonder why we, generally speaking, are not aware of any outside of common genres we find them in. However, I think that topic deserves a lengthy conversation rather than a question in an email. So I think that, so I always say, so being as though my demographic for target audience, specifically on Patreon, are largely people that are into Transformers, right? Like that's the bread and butter. And most of those people grew up in the 80s, and a lot of them were into hair metal and stuff. That was the soundtrack music to Transformers. There's just a number of components that play into that. So I just love music. Of course, I have my preferences genre-wise, but I understand even stuff that I'm not into, why it's important. So whenever I do a show, like I did this Van Halen show, and I like Van Halen, but when I did it about like a quarter of the way through, I was like, look, I just want to take a minute and say this. This show is intended to turn you on and educate you about artists you don't know.
Right.
And I'm sure this is going to get way more listens than most episodes that I do. So go and check out other artists that you're not as familiar with, because the stories are generally pretty fascinating. And I think I had this conversation all the time, but like rock, or 80s rock could be like your preference, right? Your genre of choice. But it's not my genre of choice. But I still understand why Appetite for Destruction is so good, and that to me is what separates a music person, is when they're like hip hop is probably my preference of music, but Nine Inch Nails is my favorite musicians of all time, artists of all time, and I get why Master of Puppets is so great. I get why Injustice for All is so great. I get why Antichrist Superstar is so great. I understand why Brown Sugar from D'Angelo is so great. I understand, because I'm a music person, and I don't draw these battle lines, of like, no, I listen to this. This is what I listen to because this culturally defines me. Like, no, I like all that shit, and I laugh at it all the same way. And usually when I'm laughing at something, I'm enjoying the performance of it. Not untrue about last night, to be fair, but I'm usually enjoying the performance. So anyway, thank you for your questions. Evan, thank you for coming out. I love you. It's great to see you.
I'll be back out.
Yeah,
before next February. I promise.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to it.
I do got one thing before you.
Yeah, please.
Shout out to my man Bernie, who passed last month. That was big for me.
Yep.
And also to Diamond, my dog. She would have been, had to put her down. She would have been 16 in April.
The big white husky.
Yes.
Because you like owning white things.
Yes. And so now I got to paint my freaking cockapoo white now. He's black, so I don't know. I might keep like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We did a kitchen table episode that airs this Sunday, and we took a moment of silence for BA on that. On that,
my man.
Yeah, dude, funny. That Dwyer post. Did you see that?
No.
He put up an amazing post
I'll check it out.
about that dude. He said, so where this guy works, there was apparently 3 shifts that cover this job that they were working in, and he was like, it was 1 shift, 2 shift, and 3 shift, right? Mm-hmm. So he comes in and he's on 1 shift, BA is on 1 shift, and Dave is on 3 shift, right? Mm-hmm. So he comes in, BA, and he opens up 1 shift's fridge, and he's like, "Oh, we still got some pork chops from last shift." And then he opens up 2 shift, and he's like, chicken tenders from last shift. And then he goes to the third fridge, which is 3 shifts fridge, opens up, and then just quiet, and then looks over at Dave and said, "Y'all didn't cook?"
That is him. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I love the way that dude could insert himself like effortlessly into conversations, like, because especially he would end up especially like, sadly later on in his life, he because of the nature of what he was doing, he would end up randomly at different places throughout the day, and he'd just walk in, and we're all in the middle of a conversation, and he just jump right in, like as if he had been there the whole day, and I'll never forget one time we were talking about snoring and CPAPs and all that kind of stuff, and he just jumped in and said, "Oh, I snore." And we're like, "What?" We like, stop, took a minute, and like, just like, okay. And he was like, no, I snore. And like, we're like, and then like a couple people start laughing and shit, like, okay. And he's like, "No, I'm telling you, I wakes my own self up." Just like a loving dude, man. I knew him before I knew you, like,
oh, wow, okay.
Because he was a security guard,
Social Security,
and I worked on the loading dock.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so like, and they were like, they thought they were better than us, but because they may make more money. But like, but yeah, rest in peace to be a good dude. Yeah, shout out to Joey. He will be here next week. He's on assignment one more week. He could have been here this week, but I didn't want to lose you. And as the schedules worked out, this was my last opportunity to get you for February.
You already know it. I would never let you live it down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. And then shout out to Pinkerton, who's also on assignment. Shout out to Marilyn Phil on Twitter in our notes, and Dante on Facebook, who I also tried to get out today, but he couldn't make it happen. And with that,
I'll give you a Black History butthole. I almost went with something else, so be grateful.
You weren't going to give me that. You could have said it on mic.
That wasn't the chamber. I'm going to tell you.
Well, with that, I'll just say ashy thighs.
Tight dick player.